Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Looking for Love in All the Wrong Dust Jackets, a show where three cool ladies talk to you about anything we like in romance, whether that's books, movies, TV shows, whatever we like. My name's Liz.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Wiggles.
Welcome to the show. Today we're going to talk about a Christmas movie, because it's Christmas time, The Christmas Prince. Before we do that, though, I gotta warn you, we're crass ladies. I don't think it's gonna come up as much in this episode, but we will probably swear a few times.
Yeah.
So you're warned.
Yes.
Great
so
contribution.
bring us some fucking pudding. So bring us some fucking pudding. So bring us some fucking pudding and give it right here.
Thanks. I liked it.
Good.
Yeah.
I got more of that comes
Came with a lot of eye contact.
It did come with an alarming amount of eye contact.
prolonged eye contact.
Okay. Before we talk about this movie, though, what have y'all been up to?
Nothing. This week has been shit for me. So
All right.
I kind of deep dived into the show 911 Lone Star. It has Rob Lowe in it.
Was it good?
It's pretty good. I mean, it's you guys aren't super big into like procedurals, but you know they my jam. They my jam, and it's firemen, and I get to look at how pretty they are. Don't judge me.
I mean, I will, but
I was gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, it's fair.
yeah.
So, I finished the audiobook for A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, which is a Dracula, not retelling, but a Dracula-inspired book. And it's told from the perspective of one of his wives. And it is very gothic and like that gothic romance feel. And it's told in first person, but it's told as if she is like writing a letter to Dracula. So it's a lot of her talking to him. It's very good. The narrator did a fabulous job. I loved it a whole lot. And I gave it 5 stars. I'm going to listen to it again at some point. It's not very long.
Oh, I think I'd probably like that.
It's real good.
I do love me a vampire. Not quite to the extent that the Wiggles does.
I think this like love for vampires for me has been blown out of proportion. I enjoy them, but
My bachelorette party was vampire themed, so
does that make you the winner of the contest?
I don't know, because you're the one who designed my bachelorette party.
She
so.
has a
to try
valid
and,
point.
Like, make it fun for you though.
Maybe. Anyway, another book I read was Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. It was just like a solid 3. It was fine. It was fine. The writing style, I don't know if it's in one of her older books, but it wasn't up to par. Like the dialogue just seemed a little clunky.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Well, today we're going to talk about A Christmas Prince, which is a 2017 Christmas movie on Netflix. You can only watch it on Netflix, so if you're like down with the bourgeoisie, I'm sorry, you got to choose Happy Christmas Movie or, no Christmas movie, because there's none anywhere else, obviously.
Nowhere, not like there's any on, say, the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah, but Danny, you're going to tell us what this movie's about.
All right, so it's about
But don't shock me, don't spoil it. It's don't tell me it's about a Christmas prince.
Oh my gosh.
You bitch. That was my joke. Fuck you. So The Christmas Prince is about she's a copy editor, but she is told that she needs to go and report on this Playboy prince who has been MIA since his dad died, and he is supposed to take the throne coming up on Christmas Eve, but nobody knows if he's going to show up, so she's supposed to do the reporting. So she goes there to do the reporting, and then shenanigans ensue, and she ends up pretending to be the little sister's tutor, and she's trying to get to know the prince and get the whole scoop and everything and be sneaky, sir, and she keeps breaking stuff.
I did
Like
like
you do.
that repetitive farcical comedy. That was nice.
It was nice.
Yes. Any other details, or are we
No,
just
we're
going to
gonna
talk
talk
about
about this.
Okay, well, let's move on then to this movie. Well, I don't have anything. Well, I do have something, but like I just walked into this ass first and I regret it. All right, let's talk about Amber. Amber is our lead. She, as Danny said, is a copy editor, but she longs to be a reporter. She's got a dad who owns some kind of restaurant, which is hard to define.
It looks like a diner deli situation.
Yeah, but it's got coffee too, so it's like anyway, he's got a restaurant. The interesting thing about it is the whole time he was very much giving off like pizzeria vibes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but also did not serve pizza. So I was like never really sure what the story was there.
Don't judge his diner. That was his dream.
Well, dream better. Anyway, so her dad is a very nice man who's had to raise her on his own for a while because his wife died. So he doles out the cheesy father advice.
It's true. I liked her dad.
Mm-hmm.
He threw his nuggets of wisdom when he wanted to,
That's true.
when she needed them.
According to Amber, they are like a fortune cookie. So
A little bit.
yeah, but yeah, so she wants to go live her dream and she finds out that she's got to go do this investigative journalism, Playboy Prince, right? And so she tells her dad and he's like, that's sad that you won't be here for Christmas, but go live your dreams. And it was cute and all happened very quickly.
Yes.
Well, they needed to get her to the prince.
It's true, they did.
I do like that the way she actually meets the prince is because he jacks her cab at the airport.
How rude of him.
It
See-
was quite rude.
This movie would be a very different movie if it was rated PG-13. That's all I'm saying. Because like immediately from there on, like if it's PG-13, you're flipping the bird, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, he's a big jerk. Ooh, you got him roasted.
I love the fact that the extras in the background are all like, oh, he stole her cab.
Yeah, like scandal. When in reality, everyone would be like, "Suck it up, bitch." We're
Like,
all
shit
angry.
happens.
I mean, you don't know. People might be nicer in Aldovia.
I doubt it.
I mean, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But she's from New York. Like, people steal your cabs all the time. When,
Right? Toughen up, Buttercup.
Like, I don't live in New York, and I'd be like, oh, that fucker, but whatever, I guess.
Also, yeah, she's from New York. She didn't flip him off. She didn't swear at him.
Yeah.
Silly people
She
and their
didn't put a
PG
curse on his
ratings.
family.
Put a curse on his family.
She also, so when she poses as Emily's tutor, the tutor is from Minnesota. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I know you're supposed to be pretending to be from Minnesota, but most of her time she acts like she's from Minnesota. And I'm like,
Yes.
that is not a New Yorker.
No.
That is a Minnesotan.
Yes.
Because Minnesota nice is real. Very much so.
Well,
Not saying there aren't assholes in Minnesota. There are, but
There are
and
assholes
whining about
everywhere.
your injustices in life is a very Midwestern thing. Versus
Yes.
like in New York, they're just like, fuck you, guy, you know, and we're like, that guy was so mean to me. He was so rude. And that is the start of a 15-minute rant right there.
Oh, and then you got to tell everybody the whole day. Like,
oh yeah.
anytime somebody says, how's it going? You're like, well, it was going good, except for.
Yeah.
Except for this asshole stole my cab.
Yes.
Just because we're from the Midwest doesn't mean that we don't swear. We do it quite a lot.
It's true.
Well, we do.
There are
We
some
do.
who don't.
Yeah.
Who are like, but I feel like, okay, like, I don't want us to get on a tangent that we can't come back from. But there is also like a very specific style of swearing to the Midwest where like you're not actually saying things that people would consider to be curse words, but you're also swearing. An example being, well, I don't know, like, if this is just my family, but if you get the wrong wow, you're in trouble.
There's also the yeah, no, yeah thing that isn't necessarily swearing, but there's definitely moments where you're like, you need a dictionary if you're not from the Midwest to understand. Are they actually saying yes or no?
You'll never know. That's our secret.
Yeah, no is no. No, yeah is yes.
Correct.
Yeah is maybe.
I'm most guilty of the yeah, no, for sure. Which,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
no, I get it. I know what it means.
Yeah, I know exactly what it means.
Yeah. Anyway, so no, she does not feel like a New Yorker throughout this entire thing. She's just if you could make a cupcake a person, that's what this character is.
She really is.
Yeah, she really is.
And I'm not saying that there aren't people that are from New York and everything that aren't like that, but she literally lives in the city of New York.
Well, she grew up there. And
Yeah.
her family has a diner. Like, she's seen all walks of life.
I also like that she's quirky and different because she wears tennis shoes and a ponytail.
Well, I suppose when you're in with the nobility and royalty of a country, you are quirky and different when you wear tennis shoes
That's
and a
true.
ponytail.
It's true. She's
You're
also
American.
in a dress and wearing Converse,
America.
which I really think more had anything to do with the fact that she didn't have any other shoes with her. But
She didn't have a dress either. She had the whole fucking team. This is the end of the movie where she goes to the Christmas ball where the Christmas prince will become the Christmas king.
Shocker.
Shocker.
she didn't wear Converse to that.
Yes, she did.
Did she?
100% she did.
Yeah, she has a whole moment where she lifts up her blue dress to reveal her maroon Converse.
Yeah, that's a scandal
Yeah.
right there. I'll tell
She
you.
almost showed ankle. God damn.
All I could
We could
think
have had
of,
some spicy ankle scene.
for some reason, all I could think of when she did that is Hilary Duff's Cinderella movie.
Correct.
Okay, good.
It's that one or What a Girl Wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Amanda Bynes and Colin Firth.
Yeah.
I love What a Girl Wants.
Yep.
That one makes me so happy, and I don't know why. I'm just like, fuck yeah, whatever I see it, I'm like, yeah, we're going to watch What a Girl Wants.
See, when I'm going to go to my go-to Amanda Bynes movie, it is always going to be, what the fuck is that soccer one?
She's a Man.
No. Yes. Yep, that's the one. Obviously, it's been a while.
And mine is Sydney White.
I don't know
one's
what that
alright.
is, let alone
It's
have
a-
seen it.
It's a spoof on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but she's in college, and like the queen is the head of the sorority that she was trying to join because it was her mother's sorority.
Who are the seven dwarfs?
So
Seven
she-
dorks.
Yeah, Seven
Oh.
Dorks.
Yeah.
This makes sense now.
Yeah.
It's when she doesn't get into the sorority, she had to give up her dorm to Rush, and when she doesn't get into it, she moves into this like rundown house that was just overflow student housing.
Why would she have to give up her dorm to Rush? This
That
makes
never
no
made sense to me either. I don't
That's
think
illogical.
that's a
That's
thing.
that's movie logic.
Yeah.
Right there. Doesn't make sense because like that's movie logic, but also like, how do we know what that the Royals don't have tennis shoes underneath their gowns? I fucking would. I would.
I would if I could get away with it.
You're wearing a giant ball gown. No one's gonna see your shoes.
Yeah, I probably would as well. The only problem with that is that I am short, and so they would probably notice if I wasn't wearing heels because I am not particularly tall by any means, and he was kind of tall.
Yeah, there was definitely a height difference between Prince Richard and Amber. So I'm surprised that they didn't put her in heels.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't think that she would have had that little like winky, cheeky little moment to Emily if the intention wasn't for her to have heels. So I think that at some point we actually did get to see the montage, if you will, and then it just didn't happen. It got cut or something. That's what it felt like. Like they were like, bring in this crew and they were going to do like dress her all up and whatever. And then they were like, fuck it. Let's just skip to the reveal.
Fair enough. I understand that to a degree. But yeah, I do like the cheeky little because I like how much she involves Emily because she really does get along with Emily. They're cute.
How old is Emily?
10?
I don't know. Young enough for her antics to be seen as precocious. So I suppose 10.
I think she's 10. She's very smart and has cerebral palsy.
That's what they said.
Okay.
No, they said spina bifida.
Spina
I was gonna
bifida,
say
okay.
That doesn't sound right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a really good judge of kids' ages, but she looks like she's older playing younger, whatever she
Yes.
is.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, I was guessing somewhere around middle schoolish. Their relationship between Emily and Amber, to me, feels like the real relationship of this movie.
Oh, yeah. I fucking love their relationship. It's so cute. And she, like, kind of, Emily blackmails Amber to a degree where she's like, but I know who you are.
Not to a degree. She blackmails her.
Yeah,
She's like,
she
I know
is.
your secrets.
she's full on extorting her.
yeah.
I know your secrets. You're supposed to be my tutor. I don't want to do this. It's 3 days till Christmas. Take me sledding.
Although I will say, there were some of the lines, especially from Emily, that were like on a level of cheese that like I knew, right? It's Christmas. romantic movie, that's how it's gonna be. But like she literally said the like not coined, but like often made fun of phrases of like poor little rich girl. And I was like, okay, a little on the nose there. Like you couldn't have thought of another way to say that. Nope. Okay.
I like when she took her sledding, you know, and then they come back in after having a giant snowball fight with Richard because they weren't supposed to be out there. And then he ran into them and they had a snowball fight because of course they did. It's a Christmas movie. That's what they do. But I did like the mom's reaction. The queen was like, gave them the like stern belt. Okay, but you should ask to take the princess out somewhere before you go somewhere. And then next time, please invite me. I want to sled.
No fun for you. You're a queen. You must have the miserable life.
Yeah. I was very confused by that scene because she like took her out sledding and then went down the hill with her. And I'm like, you don't know her condition. I mean, you know her condition, but do you know the extent of like how like could she get really hurt doing this? I don't know. In my head, I just like mommed all over that. Like, you are dumb.
Well, and like Emily even says, what if I get more broken than I already am? Right. And she's like, you're not broken.
And I mean, she's not, but at the same time.
But it's like, you missed the point.
But she is delicate.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah, I agree. I while watching them go down, I'm like, okay. So on one hand, I understand that like logically to me, her legs are on like Amber's legs are on either side. She really could stop that thing at any time.
Except she failed miserably.
Except for
at
she
it.
didn't.
Yeah. She's comically like clumsy to the point of it being the weirdest plot device.
I know when she broke the Ming Dynasty vase, I was like, oh boy, lady, you're gonna have problems. In this.
I was like, even I would not have been that clumsy.
Yeah, I don't like Wiggles and I are notoriously clumsy, and I don't think we wouldn't have walked backwards in that entire building.
No,
because I'd be like hands to myself.
I would have been hyper aware of everything, and I would have been like, locked in.
Shit is very expensive. Also, is that expensive? Are you fucking kidding me?
What do you fucking think? You're in a goddamn castle, lady.
And a pretty castle at that. Can we talk about that castle?
Sure.
That like the like distance scenes of the castle. Every time I was like, oh, I want to go to there. It's so pretty.
I wonder if that's I would assume it'd have to be a real castle that they
borrowed.
Yeah.
The cryptic threats of the dungeon crack me up every time, though. I'll lock you in the dungeon. Do you guys really have a dungeon? No, but he doesn't know that.
I mean, that's the dream, right? Like, yeah, there's always that thing in the back of your mind that like, oh, if I was a princess, I'd get to wear pretty dresses and whatever. Like, that's fine. That was a cute childhood dream at 6.
Mm-hmm.
The real dream is being able to just wield power over people that's unimaginable. Be like, bitch, you didn't give me 5 marshmallows in my hot chocolate? Dungeon. We're done.
You would never do that.
You don't know.
I
I've
do
never-
know.
I do know.
I've never been blessed with power.
I do know. Also, that castle is a real castle. It's located in Romania.
Nice.
It has a name that I can't pronounce, and I'm not going to try.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying, like, 10-year-old me was a terrorist.
Okay, maybe 10-year-old you,
Yeah.
but like...
Yeah.
Adult
now.
you would be like,
Emily's precocious. I would be a monster. And I would have loved it. But, you know.
adult me would be like, let's see how much I can get lost so no one can find me.
That would be me. I was like, where can I hide?
Yeah.
That is always, this is so random, but we've all read enough books where like, oh my gosh, this is the person I'm with and they're rich, right? And then you have chefs and stuff. I'm always like, but what if I wanted to cook? What if I
Right?
want to be in the kitchen? What if I wanted to do that activity now you're saying I don't have to do?
Well, they snuck in and made cookies.
They did
That's
sneak in
true.
and make cookies.
They did make cookies.
I suppose you know, if you wanted to cook for the night, they would, you know, you'd be allowed. It's your fucking kitchen.
I don't know. According to Bridgerton, they didn't know. They didn't know what to do.
Okay. Their ineptitude in anything having to do practicality wise is not the norm.
I think
I
that
think it was
maybe
then,
would be
but-
like the hardest thing if you were to like actually time travel and like were brought into this like royal family or wealthy family or whatever, and they're like just straight up incompetent, and you're like, yeah, you can speak 3 languages, but do you even know what that is? Like,
It's the middle of the night. You're gonna wake somebody up to get you a grilled cheese? I'll just make you a grilled
it's
cheese.
not that hard. You see this bread?
It's not
We're
even
gonna
a
put
10-minute
cheese and we're gonna
process.
smash. That's it. That's all it takes.
Butter on the outside.
Mayo.
I do brown butter, so I don't scrape it onto the bread.
You brown the butter and then
Yeah. And then let it soak it.
I use mayo because mayo gives a more golden brown finish.
Now I just want grilled
It
cheese.
doesn't taste like mayo. Most things, by the way, touch mayo in like kitchens and stuff.
Why do you think I don't like eating at other people's houses?
No, I'm talking about like in professional kitchens.
Also, very picky about that shit too.
Did you know that ranch is mayo based?
Listen, if you can hide it, if you can make it like I can't taste it, like I'm not like
You
"Ooh."
won't eat an aioli, which usually just
No, I
tastes like
don't.
whatever else has been mixed with.
No, I don't eat an aioli.
That's what ranch is, an aioli.
Yeah, ranch has enough shit in it to hide the mayo eat.
Anyway.
Hey,
And I
Liz.
just deep
Yeah,
eat.
what's up?
You remember how picky I am?
Yeah.
She's worse.
Only about this. She's not about other things.
It's
No.
true.
I'll eat most things as long as you don't put mayo on it and ruin it.
You're worse.
Mayo is the devil.
It is not. I quite like mayo, actually. I want egg salad. I also now want a grilled cheese.
Anyway, I'm going to get us back to something fun and not this gross mayo topic. Okay, so we've talked about our gal. We've talked about the youth. Let's talk about the prince.
Richard.
Richard?
What is Richard's personality? Is his personality just a Disney prince?
Kind of, yeah.
Only, I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have noticed this lately, but what is it about live action, like, movies about princes where they're always blonde?
He wasn't blonde, was he?
He was.
Yeah.
Was he? Shows you how much I notice physical
It's kind of
things.
a dark blonde. It
Ah.
wasn't brown, but it wasn't like...
That's brown. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
No, it's blonde.
That's
It's kind of a sandy, dark
Yeah,
blonde.
it's sandy blonde. For sure. For sure, Z's.
I don't know if that's true, but okay. I'm looking at these pictures. I don't know if that's true.
Unless the, like...
That's literally from this movie, and that's brown.
It's bad lighting.
Oh my god, you guys are terrible. Literally from the movie.
Yeah.
It's an image from the movie.
It's
brown.
She's right. It's bad lighting.
He has brown hair.
No, he does
He
not.
has blonde hair.
Fucking
He's blonde.
Anyway.
2-1. You're outvoted. Anyway, Danny.
doesn't make you guys right. Groupthink doesn't make you right.
Oh, so now the majority has gone against Liz, and now it's a problem. But when it's against Wiggles, oh no, that's because I'm wrong. Because I'm always wrong.
Do you know what the key factor is in all of this?
I'm always wrong.
No, Liz is
Mayo.
right.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so back to Richard. He is a archery shooter, which automatically makes him a little more attractive to me.
He was bad at it.
and
He was
not
good at
very
it.
far from that target.
No, look at that target. He was hitting all the outside parts.
Fair enough.
He got schooled by his sister, who apparently just picked it up one day and decided she's going to hit a bullseye. So, he could be better. Okay, but speaking of his skills, I got to talk about one thing that drove me nuts.
What?
When, twice they featured him playing the piano, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the one time when Amber comes in, she's like, "Oh, you're so talented."
I know. I thought this. I was like, that's a song children play on the
Yeah,
piano.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that's a really easy song. Like, there are way
He's
more
literally
complicated
playing
Christmas
at a
songs.
10-year-old's level, but sure.
Not to say that part was bad. It would have been totally fine if her comment just wasn't there.
Right.
Yeah.
You can play a basic bitch song.
Yeah.
That's so fine. It's a Christmas song even. But then to be like, "Oh, you're so talented." That's the equivalent of a girl fawning over a guy who can strum 5 chords on a guitar.
It's true.
What?
Well, and with her saying that, okay, fine. If you have to make her say that cheesy ass line, why wasn't he playing a more complicated song? I understand you wanted him to be playing a Christmas song. It's nearly Christmas. It's the whole fucking spiel of the movie. However, there are a lot of very complicated Christmas songs to
Yes.
play on the piano.
Yeah.
Or Or even just an elevated version of that song where he was at least playing like some harmonies in there instead of the bass line melody.
Yeah.
The only thing that would have been worse is if they made him play the first Noel, and it was like, which is literally a scale. That's it.
Yeah.
I also have to point out, when we're talking about just skills, though this is more of Amber's, is when they go off on the horses, this bitch just saddled her own horse.
Yeah,
and was off?
I totally thought the same thing, because I'm like, first of all, this is coming from somebody who jumped horses in competition. I totally did this, bitch. First of all, you automatically know how to saddle a English saddle versus a Western one, which if she ever rode a fucking horse, I'm fairly certain she would have rode Western. You also knew how to bridle it and get the fucking bit in the mouth.
She said that the only time she's ridden a horse was in Central Park.
Yeah.
Which then goes to, okay, so you can saddle this horse, but you don't know how to lead it?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That was my big, like, other than just general main plot issues. That was the one part where I was just like, no. Whoever wrote this was wrong.
They gave him the tiniest gun to scare away. I know. He's like, get out of here. Stop. Shoot. It's like, I can't do this. Oh, man.
Yeah, I was just like, bitch, there's a lot of steps to saddling.
Right. And even if you want to make the argument that there would have been somebody like some help in the stable that actually did it for her.
Yeah, but you think they're just show it, or do you honestly think that they're just like, oh sure, you can follow the prince fucking anywhere?
Well,
right.
So
she did it quickly enough to follow him.
Yeah.
Here's how you write that.
Yeah.
You don't need to change anything else. Here's how you write that, and you make it a joke and you make it funny, but it's also quick. You turn to the stable master who just happens to be standing there and say, I need to follow that horse. Like it's a New York rom-com where it's like, hey, follow that cab. It's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Or if you don't want to do it the cheesy way, she turns to the side and there's a horse that's
already saddled.
saddled.
Right.
Like when she turned and saw the horse, I expected to see the horse already saddled.
Well, and then the camera specifically panned to where the saddle was. And I'm like, before she even left, I was like, are you telling me this bitch knows how to saddle a horse?
The camera made some really interesting storytelling choices throughout this movie.
It sure did.
Like there was, what's her name? Victoria? Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah.
She's like telling the prince, she's like, just know I love you.
Are you talking about Sophia?
Is that what her name is?
Oh.
Yeah.
It was an name. I was close. Anyway.
She's a cunt.
The only reason I know is they pronounce it Sophia. They put an in it. Those British accents.
Anyway, so she's telling him like she loves him no matter what, right? And she's got this really like, it looks like a ring that you could get from Hot Topic on. And they like zoom in on that like it means something. And I was like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me in this moment. Like, where you think you're leading my eye, I'm not sure, but okay.
Well, and my whole thing with Sophia is that, so they imply it that he was madly in love with her and everything, and he left when the shock of his father dying and blah, blah, blah. Given what you see of Richard, I don't think he would have ever been anything to do with her, really, because honestly, it's not that she seems nice.
No.
She is a cunt through and through. Like, there's never like everybody thinks she's saccharine sweet or whatever, and oh my god, everybody loves her. It's not that. She's a bitch.
Well, I guess I got the impression that he left when he realized that she was really just kind of like in it for the title and all of that. I got the impression that he broke it off with her because of that.
Oh, see, and I don't remember when he broke it off with her. I just know that like when he left Aldovia, it was because his father had literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
But his mom invited her back. So it's like, Queen,
yeah,
what
right?
you doing?
She's just fulfilling her role as a plot device is what she's doing.
She is.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of got, I think what they were trying to tell us, clearly if you guys didn't pick up on this, I don't think they succeeded, But I think that they were trying to tell us that she did a much better job acting when she thought she could get with the future king.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
And she's no longer really putting on that performance, or at least not very well.
Yeah. I mean, it's a common plot device to have the bitchy ex there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, when she gives because the tradition with the royal family and whatever is to give Christmas ornaments to put on the tree, which I think is a sweet tradition, but whatever. So she brings a like tinkling, all the other ornaments that they have are like wooden ornaments and stuff that are really pretty, you know, but they're not really expensive. I mean, they could be expensive, but they're pretty, but they're made of wood and they're a little more demure. But she pulls out this like sparkling, tinkling fucking heart. And she's like, "Here, Richard, put this on the tree. Don't break it." And I'm like, oh my God, I just want to punch her in the face. Instantly. I instantly wanted to punch her in the face.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The thing that's more surprising to me is that the cousin, what's his name? Simon is like, does not see through it at all. Like, is in hand with her in the conniving, and then is like, still goes after her. Like, at the end, he was saying, like, what about our honeymoon? And she's like, we're getting a divorce. And it's like, you thought there was going to be a honeymoon, bro?
Right?
Yeah. I also like skipped over. I don't know if I missed it or if the movie just decided to not tell us that they got married until that very point when she was like, and we're getting a divorce.
They sign the documents right before he's supposed to be coronated. Like literally in that same.
Oh, it just happened very fast then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like sign the documents and then they're waiting on the queen to get there. And I don't remember what they called it, but they're basically waiting for a majority of parliament to be there in order to have to do the coronation.
There was a word that they used. I think it began with a C.
I think it did too, but I don't remember.
It could have been anything, honestly. They could have said it's the conflagration, and I'd be like, sure. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, that's a thing.
Yep. Whatever you say.
But so anyway, we should talk about why he might, our lovely Richard might not be coronated king.
Sure.
So as they find out when she does the weird thing with taking the horse, and the horse, shocker, bucks her off in the middle of the snow.
And then a wolf shows up. Dun, dun, dun.
And he frightens him away with the world's tiniest gun.
That's true.
He takes her to his father's hunting lodge.
Which is very romantic.
It is very romantic. Also looked cozy for rich people.
Yeah.
It's not my cozy, but it was definitely cozy.
Yeah.
And
Again,
they spent
if this was a PG-13 movie, some different things are going down. That's all I'm
Oh,
saying.
yeah, absolutely. They would have wow in that hunting lodge.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about what they find in the hunting lodge, but they then left. Like they went to the hunting lodge and then they left.
Yeah,
like at night, because it was night when they went back, right?
Yeah. I didn't understand that. Why wouldn't you?
Why?
If you took her to the hunting lodge, why didn't you just take her back to the castle?
Because there is no logic in this place.
There is no logic.
That
They
is what it
almost
comes to
kissed in the hunting lodge, and then the horses whinny.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has to go check on them. And like, I didn't grow up around horses, but like, do you check every time they whinny?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, you don't.
That'd be like checking every time your dog starts barking out the window.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't stop the kiss. You're
Yeah.
alone in the hunting lodge. Go.
You
Do
have no
things.
problem interrupting her when she's speaking to do the kiss, but the horse is winning. Oh no, Martha, the horses are out.
That's right. I forgot her fake name is Martha.
Right? She definitely is giving Martha vibes.
Anyway, so when the horse is whinny and he goes out to check on the horses, because, you know, they're not allowed to make a sound, apparently. She digs around the desk and she finds a bunch of papers from the king. And she basically jacks them. She doesn't really look at them there because it's not enough time. But when she gets back to the castle, because they go back at night, still, again, not understanding why they didn't just
Go to
shack
Pound
up in the
Town.
Yes. Go to Pound Town.
Even if you don't want to go to Pound Town, you just do a little cuddle sesh, a little make out.
Well, even if, you know, even if he's like, well, this is my dad's hunting lodge, maybe not. Why didn't they? I still don't understand why they just didn't stay there. Like, It was clearly a multiple bedroom hunting lodge. Like,
I don't know what's more scandalous, showing up the next day in the morning or showing up in the middle of the night together. But either way, it sounds scandalous. So you
Either
might as well
way,
take advantage of the situation.
Some ankles have been seen.
some ankles have been seen.
Scandal.
Okay.
So anyway, they get back. She goes to her room and everything, and she starts digging through, and she finds a birth certificate. She finds Richard's birth certificate, and then she sees an identical birth certificate with a different name on it, and then she finds an adoption certificate. As it turns out, the prince is not royal by blood; he is adopted. So technically, he is not the heir to the throne because he's not his blood, and his sister isn't the heir to the throne because dude stuff.
I like that they just kept those very important, very highly confidential secret papers in a desk that anybody could find.
In the hunting lodge of all things.
Right.
Yeah, that would not have been hard to find.
No.
No.
She did not even try that hard.
Well, and you're the king. Why didn't you just burn it? He's your son. Boom.
End of discussion.
End of
I
discussion.
suppose, like, maybe in the back of his mind, he had this intention of one day being like, just so you know, you may not be my son by birth, but you are my son.
Yeah. Which also, we find out that the reason that he's adopted is because shortly after the king and queen, Richard and Mumsy, whose name I don't remember, got married, they found out that she couldn't have babies.
Correct.
So they adopted to Richard.
Mm-hmm.
And then we never, ever, ever, ever address Emily.
Right. Is she like a surprise, like, oops, you can't have children?
Or is she also adopted?
Right? Also, they're not very subtle about where it's going when they've got, like, the queen who's, like, obsessed with the orphanage thing. I was like, okay. So he's...
I will say, in the defense of the movie, it actually does happen a lot where people tried a long time to have kids. They never thought they were going to be able to. They adopt and then they get pregnant.
Which is fine, but just address it.
Yeah, it
That's
is
what
weird
I
that they
needed.
didn't, Emily, they didn't like slip in there something. Emily was our miracle baby or whatever. But I suppose if they'd been keeping it a secret the entire time that Richard wasn't their baby, which you would think the world would have noticed that she was never Prager's, but
Also that.
Right? Like, how do you hide a queen that well?
I don't know.
just sequester herself in
She's like, I am just naturally thin, even in birth. Eat my shit.
Oh, God.
Okay, lady.
All right. Well, I mean, that wasn't how I was. That was a house.
Lays on brick. Ow.
No. Also, the thing that gets me while we're talking about the adoption is we get to the coronation, which just kind of happens at a ball. It seemed a little informal to me, but whatever. And he's like, does anybody protest or whatever?
Object.
Like it's a marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just wave a piece of paper that looks honestly like it's copy paper. And they're like, no, he's adopted. And the queen just gives it up. She's like, yeah, you right.
Right.
Yeah, you're
Let's
right.
talk about that adoption certificate and how it looks exactly like something that you would print off as a gift certificate for a consolation prize after you lost the soccer game.
There's specific paper that you use
Yeah.
for that type of stuff.
Yes. And they didn't.
No.
There were some questionable things with the set and props department in this movie.
They spent all the money just getting that castle.
Yeah, they must have. I have to address my beef with the final coronation scene where they literally were just like, we're out of money. So you know what? We're going to put Christmas decorations in this area that's literally like, it's a lecture hall at a college. And then we're going to drape hideous fucking red fabric. I don't even think it was the real curtains across the back, and which is probably hiding like the projector or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, this is where the coronation's happening. This is the pivotal moment of the end of the movie. This is where we're doing it.
Yo,
It was
Wiggles
so bad.
literally was still watching the movie when we arrived to record, and her fury at that. She commented on it multiple times while the two of us also watched the ending of the movie again.
Yeah.
Yes, it bothered me much. I'm not saying, like, I get it. You ran out of money. That's fine. But, like, you got to be more creative than that.
It was a beautiful lecture hall, but
They were
clearly
like,
a lecture hall.
find me 75 old men in suits.
Just go to the local college and have like
They're
random
like, we
professors
have all these
show
old
up.
guys in suits at the college. Perfect. We'll do it there.
Round them up.
Round them up. The real reason the old guys are cheering at the end is not because they're happy that he got coronated. They're just like, yay, I can get my free sandwich for coming. That's what that scene read to me. But I don't know.
Oh yeah, we should probably talk about the acorn, which is also something that happened in the hunting lodge.
Kind of. They found a poem in the hunting lodge that was supposed to be a gift for the queen.
It was supposed to go with the acorn, though.
Yes, it was supposed to go with the acorn. It was a gift for Mummykins that I can't remember her name.
Long may she reign.
Long may she reign. And it was a poem basically stating that it's a gift and something about the acorn and blood.
Yeah, and the acorn we're referring to is one of the ornaments that they put on the Christmas tree in the very beginning of the movie that the old King Richard, the late King Richard, had already like picked out like, a year in advance, apparently.
Well, he was going to give it to her the Christmas before, but he died right before Christmas. And he had squirreled away that acorn, and Mummykins found it.
Helena, by the way, I looked up her name.
Thank you.
Do they ever say her name? Because I don't remember that happening.
I think
sure
they
they
said,
did.
I think they called her Queen Helena now that I'm thinking of it, but I like to call her Mummykins, or maybe I should call her Blanche.
Blanche?
Okay.
That is a very inside joke.
It is
Nobody's
indeed.
going to get that.
It is indeed.
I don't get it.
Yeah, you know you wouldn't. It's a D&D thing. Anyway.
And then this poem that they found in the hunting lodge, or Richard had it on him and showed it to Amber in the hunting lodge, is the whole like trigger to how they find the thing that solves the adoption problem.
Which, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, but did they ever clarify how that solves the adoption problem other than the king being like, I want you to be my heir?
He
That's all it
amended the law.
The king wrote a decree.
King gets to do whatever he wants.
That I literally have that in my notes. I was like, I don't think you can just, this isn't old England. You can't just write a decree, throw your like official seal on it and be like, hey, it works now.
Apparently you can in Aldovia.
Apparently.
Okay, my only way of thinking in this is that, so yes, there is a parliament. So parliament should have had to agree to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But none of them wanted Simon. So parliament might have just gone with it.
Still, it was too convenient.
Oh, yes, it was too convenient. I was just saying, given, playing devil's advocate on that, I also agree that it was way too convenient. But playing devil's advocate, they were all like, fuck, I hate Simon. I don't want this bitch. So they could have just been like, yeah, cool, that.
Well, the convenience is that this parliament has been sitting there waiting for him to, step up, become king for a fucking year.
Yeah.
And like, they're literally asking down to the wire, like, is he going to do it? Is he going to actually be fucking king?
Mm-hmm.
And his mom's like, yeah, of course. You're going to be king, right, bitch? Yes, he's going to be king, I promise.
Well, that's his whole main personality is he doesn't really want to be king. He's a reluctant
It's
prince.
hard being rich and famous.
And he had the last thing he said to his dad was a fight about him not wanting to be king.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And he bitched off to Spain, and then his dad died.
don't be a dick.
Which makes me go, did he not come back for the funeral? He said he hadn't been back since.
Oh, really? I didn't catch that little line.
He said he left for Spain, and then he said he hadn't been back since, and his dad died right before Christmas.
I must not have then.
So, like, did you not come back for the king's funeral? What an asshole.
And you just left your sister after your dad died for a year?
And
Right?
your mother?
And your mother?
And your fucking country?
I don't think I like this prince guy.
He's less and less appealing the more you put it down on paper,
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute.
Like, I get that people grieve in their own ways and everything, but, like,
You don't abandon your family.
you ditched your little sister?
Right?
That's the one that pisses me off the most.
Well, and his whole thing is that he's supposed to not be he's not in real life. And this is what Emily wants Amber to actually write a story about is that Prince Richard is not really a playboy going around and just doing whatever he wants. He's actually a really nice guy who has snowball fights with orphans instead of talking to the press and does other cute stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But bitch, you weren't doing that for a year.
Right?
Also, well,
Where you been at?
Emily,'s like way too excited to see him for him to have really been gone that entire time. Like that doesn't make sense. When he like scoops her up and she's like, "Yay!" Like it's not like it's giving Georgiana and Darcy. It's not giving, bitch, you fucking abandoned me for a year. Touch me and I'll whack you with one of these. I swear to God.
Yeah, but when you're that young, like depending what you can easily swing towards, oh my gosh, my brother's finally back, I'm so excited.
It also kind of depends on the level of hero worship she has for him.
But she's also not that level of excited either. Like she's like, it feels very much like she's like, oh, you went on a trip for a couple months.
Yeah, I'm starting to see a plot hole here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows how much he's actually been in contact with Emily herself, though. He could be, salty with Mama and salty with everybody else and sneakily talk to Em.
It's true. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Like,
well,
they
and
didn't
that's the
address
thing.
that, but
That's your job as the storyteller is to let us know.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'd have to say his fucking beard when he's in hiding, in what universe is that attached to his face? This is the fakest of fake beards. He looks like he's Eric Matthews when he's pretending to be plays with squirrels.
You make a lot of Boy Meets World references.
Because
Because
it's a
Boy Meets
fantastic
World is
show.
life.
I never watched it.
Listen,
I said it before on this.
I know, but
You-
it hurts me every time.
I mean, you watch Boy Meets World,
Nah,
you watch Buffy, and then we'll all be good.
I'm not going to.
Nah.
I have seen a couple episodes of Boy Meets World, and I just don't think it's something as an adult I'm going to enjoy. Like, just be a bunch of whiny high schoolers.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like, what is there another type of high schooler?
That's why I don't watch shows that have high schoolers in it.
That's what's like.
Well, when they start out there in middle school.
Ugh.
I haven't watched
Gross.
Euphoria, but everybody keeps hyping it up that it's so good, and I'm like, it's a show about high schoolers. How good can it be?
Right.
What? Anyway,
Boy Meets World goes from when they're in middle school till college.
unimpressed. Listen, all I'm saying is when Corey and Topanga got married, it was a big deal.
It was a
in my
very big
household.
deal.
We were like, it was prime time. We were like, shut the fuck up. We didn't say fuck, but we said shut the fuck up. So,
Okay.
You yelled at me, but I'm Topanga.
but Topanga. I gotta rewatch it.
Okay, back to this. What did you guys think of Richard and Amber's romance?
I mean,
That's the whole point of the movie.
They had
Where was
cute
it?
moments,
That,
but
yeah, that's kind of my thing. Like, if this is supposed to be about their romance, give me more. Do something.
I mean, I'd have a stronger opinion of it if I maybe saw more than a few awkward kisses.
they had some sweet, adorable, funny moments, like when he taught her to shoot archery and she shot it through the window. That's funny. And they
Right to the horse's ass.
and then they run away.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's cute, but there's, you can't string a marriage together with cute moments.
Right?
When
And
he
him getting
proposes,
down on
I'm like,
one
oh,
knee.
sir.
I was like, that's a bold choice. I'm going to propose to you. Come abandon your entire life in New York. Live with me in Aldonia, whatever.
Aldonia.
Yeah. And
And be a fucking queen. I'm sorry.
and be queen. Chop chop. We've known each other for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because it's New Year's Day. New Year's Eve
And
when he proposes.
she literally says that. Amber, when he proposes, she's like, we don't know each other. He's like, I've never been more sure about anything. And I'm not known to be very decisive.
I'm like, sir, no.
What about my dad? I can't just leave my dad. He can come live with us. I'll buy him a diner if he wants.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll
like,
fly this one over there. I'm like, sir.
All
sir.
right. All right. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is to get y'all a prince and a king is you just need to go fucking lie to everyone,
Yes.
sneak into the palace,
Correct.
pretend you're a tutor, that somehow nobody checks your references, or like not references, but like nobody checks ID. Nobody like already has a picture of you at the palace.
This was made in 2017. They had extreme security like measures in place by this point, right? Like it's not like this is some ancient movie.
Well, that was my other thing, and I mentioned this before when we were watching the end of it. He comes to New York to propose and everything, standing on a fucking New York City street, probably in a little bit of, okay, I don't know what city street in New York that was, but it definitely wasn't New York. But standing in a city street, no security, where the fuck ever. He's a fucking king.
Well, and apparently he's must be the king of the wimpiest country in the whole world because no one notices. They're all like, there's just this guy out there. Never seen that guy before.
Right.
Like,
He's supposedly a notorious playboy.
yeah. Although, if I'm being completely honest, I wouldn't be able to tell you what any royals look like if they're not like the English royals.
Yeah,
I
true.
have no idea what any of them look like.
But other people would,
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people who would. Yeah.
especially in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, the bold choice. No security whatsoever.
Yeah, I could see him actually blending into New York without any security, but why would there be no security? I don't think Prince Henry would go anywhere without security.
Right.
Mhm. Who's Prince Henry?
Of England?
William and Harry.
Harry, whatever. Who fucking cares? I don't give a shit about any of them.
I was so willing to go with you, and Danny said no.
I was just like, all I could think of was Henry from Ever After.
Yeah, the one Liz hates.
He is bland.
Okay, but he
makes this guy look like, yeah,
right.
yes.
Like, he looks like he is a well-seasoned steak, and this guy is some hamburger that you loosely patted together and threw on the grill.
Richard is. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
That's my problem. I can't love him because I don't know anything about him.
He can play child piano. He
Yep.
can hit a target roughly from 10 feet away. He knows how to ride a horse.
That horse is gorgeous, by the way.
Yes. And he doesn't want to be king.
for reasons that really don't.
Because reasons, that's
Yeah.
why.
Okay. I was like, did I miss it? I don't remember them really going into the reasons.
Because it's hard to be rich and famous.
Like, you have a parliament, and obviously I don't understand how this fake country's government works, but if it's like England or the UK, I don't think you gotta do a whole lot.
Yeah,
No.
Parliament runs everything.
Right? Like, you just gotta show up,
Do some charities.
cut some ribbons, wave your hand,
Wear the jewels.
shave your face.
Dear
no
God,
one-
shave the
no one
face.
should be out
Nobody
in
wants
public
the
looking like that, sir.
Sasquatch.
I don't know. This doesn't sound so bad.
Right?
This sounds so bad.
This seems pretty fine to me. As a grade A lazy person, this sounds A-okay.
I could have people clean for me.
Oh my God. That would
Right?
be amazing.
My apartment is a disaster right now.
Took me a long time to make this knot.
Anyway,
I also like that, and again, I'm sure this comes down to budget issues, but there's got to be about, I don't know, 200 rooms in that palace, and we get to see 5 of them.
I mean,
well, how many rooms would you really see
Yeah.
in a palace?
I
You'd
mean-
see.
We never see his bedroom.
Why would we see his bedroom? They don't go to Pound Town.
Well, I don't know. We could have seen some more ankle. That's all.
We see her bedroom,
Yeah.
which didn't look very big. I
no.
was like, why is your bed so close to the
They
door?
put her in the
palace?
West Wing.
In the servants' quarters.
I like how Sophia even was like, the peasant. and then his response is like, oh my God, like, welcome to the century. And she's like, you're always the rebel. And he's like, you know me. How rebellious. You don't think they're peasants.
dear God.
Oh God. Yeah, shit like that kills me.
So much shit she says. I'm just like, what?
Sophia?
Yeah.
What I don't understand is I get the fact that she wants the like prestige and perhaps power of being queen, but enough to marry Simon? He's gross.
Simon is icky.
Even she thinks he's icky. I bet you.
I guess like on the scale of ickiness that I have seen in my experience with romance, he's like a 4. Like he's not that bad. He's not
bad looking, but he's kind of a dick.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, but like
I don't know. I just couldn't imagine sitting in a room with him being like, "Dear, how was your day?" and then having him drivel on, and I just be like, "I'm gonna murder
just
this
invented
man."
good headphones, man.
I just kind of look at him and think of a ferret.
Imagine having to have sex with him. Okay,
I will
Again,
not.
We have experienced so much worse. This is not Mr. Collins here, okay?
I wasn't having sex with him either.
No, but like I'm just saying on the ick factor of the bad guy in these kind of stories, he's really not that bad. He was like casually annoying.
He's a ferret face.
Okay. I guess different opinions.
Since we're just randomly jumping around for no reason other than that's how our brains work, why the hell at the end of the movie was that fucking diner open on New Year's Eve with like 10 people in it?
Also, they don't appear to be like family friends or anything. They're just customers.
Who's counting down New Year's in New York at a random ass diner?
I don't know. That one always confused me too. I'm like, I mean, I suppose they could be friends, but they didn't really seem to be because they're like, free champagne. And if they were friends, they'd be like, fuck yeah, pour the champagne, bitch. Like,
Yeah, it was very confusing.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I've never spent New Year's in New York. I obviously don't live there. I feel like I would avoid as much as possible because it seems a little cray-cray.
Well, it's very touristy.
Yeah.
Again, that makes him being out in the middle of the street more and more confusing because, like, New Year's in New York, you're going to tell me there's no one else on the street, just this one guy who gets to stand in the middle of the street. In the middle of the street in New York.
Yeah.
Suspect.
It was suspect.
Maybe. Here's how we headcanon this. Right? So
I love Wiggles Rewrite Corner.
Is he Batman?
yes, he's secretly a clone of the prince. He's not the real prince. No, but maybe it's just his security team cleared the street, like, and then he was like, "I need to have a private moment."
I would believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you got to show it. You got to show your work.
Right? And they did not. It was like we were watching one of the math problems that Emily never learned.
Right.
Also, I would like to point out the snow on the street was absolutely perfect and untouched.
Pristine.
That also
Not
bothered
walked
me
through.
too because it wasn't actively snowing, which means that, right, it wasn't snowing at the end.
It was doing that like flurry thing.
Yeah, not enough to accumulate all of that. And
Yeah,
nobody's
no.
cleaned the street or
No.
walked on the street.
We are from the Midwest. We know fucking accumulation, man.
I know how long snow has been around.
I mean, don't we?
See, here's the thing. A lot of our grapes are not big grapes.
No.
But it's like if you have like one little gripe in a movie that has no other grapes, it's
Okay, whatever.
Whatever. But when you've got like a stack that's ever growing, suddenly you start asking questions like, what were they thinking in this movie?
Well, some of our gripes are bigger, like the prince not really having much of a personality.
Yeah.
That's a big gripe.
Yeah.
Your main
that's
character
true.
needs to have a personality.
I don't know. This is what I got from his personality is that he is socially awkward. And
That would have been funny if they actually played it up.
Yes.
Right? Like that could have been hilarious
Yes.
if he was like, I don't know how to be in front of people. And she's like, you need to get it together.
Lock it
You're
up,
a
bud.
literal fucking king.
That would have been a movie I would have enjoyed.
Right?
Because plenty of bumbling around, stupid annex.
You know, here's the
antics.
thing. I've seen so many subversion movies to tropes and genres throughout, whether it's romance or horror or comedy, whatever. Like, why do we not have one for this? Somebody write this, because there's comedy gold in this.
Write it then.
I'm lazy.
I'll put it in my list of.
Make Aaron and do this.
No, it's my list of random plot ideas that we come up with.
Have you been making that list?
I've been making it for a long time, so it's not all of our stuff.
We do have one that we talked about, and then stop start. It's not on the topic of this movie.
Something so different.
It's a slightly different vibe.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so this plot, right? It to me in the movie feels very thin. It wasn't very fleshed out, but I feel like I've read this plot before, like in books or seen it in other movies.
You have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why is it, at least for me, in books, I'm more forgiving of this? Is it just because there's more content in books to give me to answer all of these questions we're talking about?
Probably.
I don't know. I'm not.
Well,
but we know that about me.
Yeah.
Forgiving ain't my nature.
you're a picky bitch. No, it's fine. I love you. I love you for
But
who
it's
you
true.
are, Wiggles.
There's just something about reading books that have this cheesiness in it that I'm like, okay, that's fine. But when you see it on the screen, it seems uncomfortably cheesy or ridiculous.
See, and I actually kind of have the opposite sometimes because due to Hallmark movies. And
Do you watch Hallmark movies?
shut up, I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
Fuck you. My mother made me. Anyway, there is a bit of a nostalgia factor to the cheese,
Sure. Yeah.
which is why I think I am a little bit more drawn to this movie, even with all its issues. I told you it was cheesy as fuck. You told me to pick a Christmas movie, and I picked a Christmas romance movie. I'm not a romance movie person, generally speaking.
So that's the question I have for you, Danny.
How did we get
How
here?
did we get to like you hate cheesy rom-coms and you picked the cheesiest of rom-coms?
So I will tell you how I discovered this movie. And what it was is I was in a mood. Not necessarily a bad mood, but it was a mood. And apparently my decision-making skills were flawed that day. And I was just picking random shit on the Netflix and watched this movie. I have since watched it about 3 times. Not
You're like,
because
I got a Christmas movie.
That Prince, though.
not because I like super enjoy it or anything. It's one of those that like it can be a little bit of a comfort thing. The cheese makes me laugh.
I feel like I would enjoy this movie if I had some hot cocoa with some peppermint schnapps in it. And I just kept filling it up with peppermint schnapps every time they did something cheesy. And by the end of it, I'm like, yeah, marry him.
There may have
Well-
been intoxicants involved.
Okay, well, that makes more sense now. Honestly, though, if I was Amber and a king was like, do you want to marry me? My answer would have been yes.
Oh yeah.
Like, in a non-romantic way, it's like, you're going to take care of me. I get, like, whatever I want.
I'll be a gold digger for that. I don't care.
Exactly.
Well, so yes.
And he at least you could envision having sex with, not Simon.
Yeah. I'm not fucking ferret face, but I'll fuck that guy.
He's nice. And
I mean, but you know that's some vanilla sex.
Oh yeah.
That's like
yeah.
this is like missionary all day every day.
That's why you get a special buzzy friend. It's fine.
Yeah. I will say, speaking to what you were saying earlier about the laughter part, you know that bit?
It's contagious.
The nostalgia part. The beginning of this movie felt very much like it was a 90s Christmas movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay. And then I thought that was the vibe I was going into. I was like, all right. And then I was not. It was not Jingle All the Way. It was not Miracle on 34th Street. It was not Muppet Christmas Carol for sure.
Oh, it was definitely not Muppet Christmas Carol.
No. But that's okay. That's okay. They just got me excited.
And then pulled the rug out.
Yeah.
I feel like I keep like finding things that are very unlike me things for you guys to read or watch, and you're like, the fuck, Danny?
Well,
The last thing you picked was himbos, wasn't it?
It
So
was.
that made sense.
that was on par. Yeah.
That was very on par. However, none of us thought it was going to be.
Oh no, the last thing we ordered was Muscles and Monsters. That
Yeah.
one I did not think it was going to be on par, but it was.
Yeah.
And it
That
was.
one, the cover is deceiving as
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah. I am not going to talk about that because it'll get us off topic.
Okay.
Let us get back on topic. So, okay. Obviously, there's 3 more movies. So we know that they make it work.
They do indeed.
What are the other 3 movies even about? I know one is a baby one.
Engagement or wedding. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think
if
they
it's-
got to get married in one of them, right?
I think it's like the royal wedding, the royal
Someone
baby.
will try to ruin it.
Is it engagement, wedding, baby?
Sure, probably.
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
We've got the royal wedding is the second one, and the third one is the royal bebe.
Bye-bye.
And if there is a fourth one, it's not showing up yet.
Okay.
Probably
I
will
have
be.
watched none of the others, so it shows you how much I was intrigued to watch this.
My mom and my sister fucking love these things, and I just like, I don't even watch them. Like, I'll be in the same room with them while they're watching them, and I'll be like on my phone, and it's like I don't even need to pay attention. I've got the movie on lock. I don't know how this formula works so well. Like, how do they get so many people to watch and rewatch these plots that are literally the same plot?
Nostalgia.
Because
I mean,
you know how.
I get the nostalgia if people weren't like obsessed with watching the newer ones. Like, that's the thing that throws me. It's like, okay, like you watched this when you were younger, cool, got it. I have so many movies like that, but like you're like, nah. give
No,
me the
so
new
when I
shit.
say nostalgia, I say so it kind of invokes the feeling of
yeah.
when I watched those things. So it's not necessarily the nostalgia of the movie itself. It's the feeling behind it.
Well, and what's been described to me by people who watch a lot of Hallmark, especially like the Hallmark Christmas movies, is A, you know you're going to get your happily ever after.
Yeah.
And some people really like to have that. And B, in general, you just kind of know what's going to happen, which is also why my dad complains all the time when my aunt watches it.
Some people just want an orgasm and a happy ending.
But this one didn't even give us an orgasm.
No, it didn't. But
No. I'm actually kind of interested to watch the second one just to be like, do we get to know more about Richard?
does he have a personality?
Well, eventually they do get down to the Pound Town because they have a baby.
They have a baby.
Yeah. Of course.
She is so fake pregnant in these pictures. Sorry.
Am I surprised? Nay, I am
This
not.
movie, A Christmas Prince, has 73% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow. Wow. Considering some of the ones that have like such low scores on there, that's
I never pay attention to
Interesting to
those
know.
scores because I'm like, let me make my own decision on how I feel about this movie.
Well, there's movies that I love, and they're like, it's 20%. And I'm like, what the fuck movie did you watch?
Yeah, absolutely.
like we watch different movies, clearly.
There's definitely ones where that are like, oh my god, everybody raved about them. They're fucking amazing, and I'm like, the fuck was that?
Yeah, I have several of those movies because I haven't done it for a while, but I tend to try and watch all the Oscar nominated movies if I can, or as many as possible, just to see what's there. But I haven't been paying attention for the last few years, and I have so many movies that I watched and I went, this is supposed to be one of the greatest movies in
Yeah.
cinema from this year.
Yeah, that's why I stopped watching the Oscars, like nominated movies, because I'm like, I don't.
Sometimes you get amazing ones and you're like, yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
absolutely.
sense. And then you get ones where you're like, this was okay. I can't remember if it's called The Wrestler or whatever it was called, but it's the one where Steve Carell,
Oh,
Was it-
Fox.
Fox something. Yeah, yeah,
Fox. Oh god, what is it? Foxcatcher.
yeah. Oh my God. It was an like 2 hours of watching Steve Carell struggle to breathe through a prosthetic nose. And that was the plot of the movie. I swear to God.
Which is sad because I actually love the story behind that because it's a true story.
Yeah. And
He, like-
somehow they made it so boring.
He like barricaded himself inside his house for days because he murdered the wrestling coach, and then he barricaded himself inside his house for days, and that's why it's called Foxcatcher, because the house is called Foxcatcher Farms,
Right.
and he's part of a really wealthy family, like American royalty family, and like 4 or 5 of them have been murderers.
That tracks.
Yeah.
I believe that
It's the DuPont family.
because, when you're rich, especially when you're old money rich.
Oh yeah, and they're old money rich.
You can solve all your problems. Just having money fixes things.
I am a lover of true crime. So you tell me this is an Oscar-nominated movie about a true crime. I should be all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was one
it's
of the
not
most
good.
boring movies I've ever watched in my entire life.
That's a bummer.
I was like, ooh, Foxcatcher, yeah. And then I was like, I'd rather watch the story that they told me on ID about it.
Paint drying is more fascinating. So I want to kind of get back to Emily, who is honestly the most interesting character in the entire movie.
She is.
She really is.
But what I love about her is if you ever watched Little House on the Prairie, you'll know of this character named Nellie. And Emily and Nellie are essentially the same person if you like convince Nellie to be a good person.
Yeah. I can totally see that actually
Right?
now that you say it. I'm
And
like, yeah.
And so it was tripping me up the whole time. I thought she was going, like, as soon as I met her, I was like, oh, this kid's going to be fucking evil. I was like,
Fucking
for
Nellie
sure.
Olson, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be a brown-haired Nellie who's gonna just like fuck up this girl's life. And so when she turned out to be like kind of sweet and kind of cute, I still didn't trust it. I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. I was like, nah, she's gonna do some fucked up shit.
You're like, I don't trust you with your Shirley Temple curls.
No. Mm-mm. That's a book I really want to read. She's got a memoir that's called something like Tales from a Prairie Bitch or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
The actress who played Nellie, and oh god, I want to read that book so bad.
I actually, so when she wrote that book, I worked at the TV station and she was here.
Really?
And I met her. Yeah.
Oh my god, was she as cool as she looks like?
She's really nice.
Oh my god. But yeah, so I had a whole moment with Emily there. But I do think that if I were her, I would have been like, bitch, you gonna pass me over twice for this fucking thing? I'm gonna throw a riot. Like, I would
Right.
cause destruction.
Yeah, that was the thing that almost kind of bothered me about the ending is this whole like jumping through hoops and rigmarole to get him, the adopted son, to be Prince, which I agree. If you're adopted, you're in the family, you get to be Prince. I'm down with that.
Yeah, same.
But just not addressing other than like a couple of comments that it can't go to the daughter. All right.
Right? That's some patriarchal bullshit.
It is patriotic bullshit, and I wish he would have also appealed the law about, female descendants, whatever. My only argument is that if he knew he was going to die sooner rather than later, which it seems like he did, she's 10.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Well, what I would have liked to have seen is our prince say, I will be your regent until you are of age to take the throne.
Yeah, especially because he really didn't want the throne to begin with.
Right.
So, like,
Yeah.
why couldn't they be the queen's sister-in-law once she came of age? And
Right.
that's
Yeah,
the story.
right.
Wiggles, yeah.
I know. I know.
Rewrite corner with Wiggles.
Rewrite corner.
Rewrite corner. I'll rewrite all of your stuff. And
I like
you
that
won't
story
like
better.
I do like that story better because I would love to see what Emily would do.
It. Right?
Mm-hmm.
She's very smart. She was doing way more complicated math than she should have had to been able to. Although maybe they do more complicated math than I didn't do that shit when I was 10.
She looked like she was doing
She's a
high school
royal.
geometry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a royal with a private tutor. She
Yeah.
probably
That's
is
true.
expected to be that
Geometry
level.
can go suck a
We
dick.
had
I
fucking
hate it.
public education
Yeah.
in the U.S.
An American public education.
The
on
American
top of
public
that.
education. For the two of us, American public education in a rural town.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can do the speak good.
Y'all had a real small class.
All right. I think we've reached our wrap up point. I mean, we could keep talking about this movie or you could watch it. And that's what I say. Go watch this movie so you can laugh along with us. Because you know what? As weird and wackadoo as all the plot was, it was fun. And so with that, I guess let's do our
Spice rating.
Yeah.
Big old goose egg.
Nothing.
Yeah, sometimes I gotta give him at least a 0.5. This is a 0.
Yeah,
we
that
gave Practical Magic a 0.5, and I will say Practical Magic was spicier than this movie.
yeah.
By far.
By far.
By
The kisses
far.
in this movie weren't even that great. Like, if it
No.
was at least a good steamy kiss, I'd give it a 0.5, but
Yeah.
no.
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 It was. I mean, I like I said, I'm pretty sure this is rated PG for TV.
Yeah.
So
Yes, it
I
is.
think that it probably can't go any farther than that. All right. Romance.
A romance.
I gave it like a 2.
It's a 2.
Yeah. Samesies. I was like, well, they got together. That's it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right. That was quick. Let's go to overall.
Danny, this was your movie. What do you think?
I gave it like a 3. Like I said, it gives me a weird nostalgia thing. Not even that I'm nostalgic of this particular movie. It just gives me the cozy holiday feels, which I'm a little irritated about the fact that I have cozy holiday feels.
I think your Grinch heart just grew a few sizes bigger.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. We'll get out the x-ray after we're done with the episode.
You keep away from me with that.
With what?
The X-ray.
X-ray.
Oh. Right.
Liz?
It's like a 2 for me.
Yeah, I'd put it at a 2.5. Like, I think it did what it was trying to do.
Yeah.
I maybe would have rated it a 3 if the production value was a little bit better.
It was the goddamn curtain.
The curtain, the beard, the gun, there were problems. Also, like, the dresses at the, like, Christmas ball, I was like, girl, you could have gotten those from JCPenney.
And they did look like
Yeah.
they were prom dresses.
But, yeah, so a 2.5 is where I'm going to stand on that.
Okay. All
Fair
right.
enough.
The ultimate question. What are your recommendations?
I'll start us off, and I'm going to start off with a much better movie. It's also around the holidays. It's also got a prince, and it's fucking hilarious. And that's Coming to America.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Coming to America in a long time.
It's
No, I
such
haven't
a good
either.
movie.
It's great.
That's a classic 80s right there.
Oh yeah.
Chef's kiss.
I don't know if it ages well because I haven't seen it in a long
I
time.
have not seen it not in syndication, I think, ever in my life. So I don't know what's been cut out of it. No, I have. I have once, but I was so young I don't remember.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it ages either. I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah, so take it with a grain of salt. There's probably some, problematic shit in there.
Yeah.
It's from the 80s. So there's that. But, funny as fuck.
What you got, Danny?
So it's not Christmassy, but I was going with the second Princess Diaries.
Nice.
Oh, the royal engagement.
The royal
Yes.
engagement, because there's the like hiding factor of and shifty
Mm-hmm.
bullshit stuff.
And they're coming out with a third one.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, we might want to put that on the list.
I mean, it's on my list.
Is Chris Pine in it again?
I would hope so.
He's supposed to marry her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm here for that Mia Thermopolis life.
I'm surprised you didn't say The Prince and Me.
So I was juggling back and forth between The Prince and Me and Princess Diaries Royal Engagement, but I've already suggested The Prince and Me on here before.
And I suggested the royal engagement on here.
Oh,
so-
did you? Well,
Go with both. Do them
Both.
all.
both
Fuck
is
it.
good.
We'll take them all.
I'm going to focus with my recommendations more on the relationship between Emily and Amber. And my recommendation is Raising Helen.
Oh.
Yeah. I got a lot of that vibes. Or Uptown Girls, but that one's
Oh,
not
I
as much
love
of a
Uptown
romance, if I remember
Girls.
correctly. I haven't seen either of them in a long time, but I was getting a lot of those vibes.
There is a romance in it, but it's not the strongest part of the story.
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's 3 recommendations. So,
Yeah.
Liz, take it away.
Take it away.
I was wondering if you were going to do it. Well, everyone, thanks for listening to our episode. If you liked it, you can find us out on the socials at Wrong Dust Jackets, mostly on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. Or you can go to our website at wrongdustjackets.com. We have a whole list of things that we're going to be talking about and doing episodes on listed there. And, give us a like, give us a rating, give us a review. Tell us your thoughts and your feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.